Hello everybody, it's Ryan, Purple Smoover, and we are back again with another deck tech kind of review video now that the expansion has been out for a little bit and finally some of those very strong cards getting that well-deserved nerf, trying to figure out what one of the stronger decks is in the current meta, and where me and Alec have currently landed as an absolute warrior enthusiast myself, Control Warrior, specifically Captain Galvangar Control Warrior, is the way that we are aiming to go because there are a lot of control decks in the meta to deal with those pesky demon hunters, but Control Warrior actually has enough armor gain if you draw well enough to actually stabilize and win those games out. So the very key cards here in control matchups are stuff like Captain Galvangar and getting those discounts from your From the Depths. And if you're versing those demon hunter lists, you really want to get Frozen Buckler into shield shatters to get those full board clears and stabilizing with that additional armor. And we're just going to go into a game and kind of explain some of the logic behind the cards and how you go about winning games. So in this first matchup, Alec actually matches up against a Demon Hunter, which is one of the big decks and reasons in the first place that we even were considering a deck like this, to try to figure out how we can beat them. Because while we are both typically combo and control players, for whatever reason in this current meta, control often doesn't beat these aggro lists. They somehow just manage to edge you out before you can restabilize, but this list can generally do okay into them and win as long as you get some of your key armor cards. So in a matchup like this, you're still going to be looking for your dredge mechanics because that is where most of your value comes in this list, and it allows you to really search for cards that are going to win you the game more often than not. But there are quite a few key cards for that. So at the start of most games, you're going to be looking for stuff like Outrider's Axe, as well as Forge in the Flame to really let you dig through your deck to get to any answers depending on the matchup. Beyond this, stuff like Obsidiansmith is always a great card, allowing you to really dredge up, key answers top of your deck or get additional value on your weapons or minions. And beyond this, the obvious other really large key card is From the Depths, because that is what enables you to do some crazy things with this list. Specifically, if you can get an early From the Depths into a Sir Finley, your options just open up immensely, and almost anything that gets hit with From the Depths is something you can be excited about. So yeah, in a matchup like Demon Hunter, or pretty much just any aggro list, all you're really looking for is to get a massive value board clear with all your different options in this deck. With your brawls and your shield shatters, those are both very viable options to get massive board clears. And then restabilize with all of those nice armor cards that you're going to be using anyway to try to get your Captain Galvangar ready for delivery. Most of the minions in this deck are aimed for combo pieces to really finish out games. Against aggro, you don't actually have to wait for those moments. You can just enable it immediately. So in a game like this, if you can get your Captain Galvangar out on turn 6 or 7 to get a nice clear off, likely gonna stick, and you're likely gonna be able to finish the game with that afterwards. You don't have to go for a complete 100% combo 0 to death kind of moment. So here in this game, the Demon Hunter off to a very fast start, 13 health, 11 health on turn 6, a little scary, but using your dredge mechanics, able to get your shield block, your Frozen Buckler to the top of the list for a free shield shatter, restabilizing your health total, and clearing the board completely. And at this point, Demon Hunter really doesn't have a lot to come back with, honestly, Kurtrus is one of the scarier options, I suppose, but even that you just deal with your shield slam and your Captain Galvangar in hand. And what's nice about this list is into other matchups, you have a lot of different ways to actually close out the game and can get off some crazy combos with To the Front and From the Depths and all the different ways you can discount cards in hand. And if you really do need to use something early for some clear, you have additional options. So outside of this Captain Galvangar, which is the obvious finisher, we have those Faceless Manips, Mystery Smite, and even Nelly can enable some ways to close out games. But this game is essentially over at this point. I mean, basically no cards in hand for the Demon Hunter, endless options for the Warrior, and sitting at a nice comfortable 21 health. So really nothing to worry for Alec in this game. And at this point, after clearing the board one more time, drawing, looking for answers, having Mystery Smite, 2 Faceless Manips in hand, against a Demon Hunter with absolutely nothing, just closes out the game, no problem. And that's kind of what you're looking for in the, aggro matchups. Naturally, you just want to clear the board and stay alive. You don't really have to look for an OTK combo. And after versing a couple more Demon Hunters and just fast forwarding through a lot of the same, because that is one of the biggest winning matchups for this deck, we finally found something that isn't an aggro list to show that this deck can also win against different matchups. So like I said, what you're looking for in something like a control or another combo list, you're going to just try to enable your combo as fast as possible. You really just want to dig and get your From the Depths on your key components. So fortunately for Alec this game, he gets a From the Depths as well as Sir Finley. Mind you, he doesn't actually know what's on the bottom of his list, so this could be a massive whiff. But generally, you're not going to feel too bad. And with that, we can see he hits Nelly and Mr. Smite at the bottom of his deck. So he might be able to get off a crazy fast combo here. And he is versing someone on his friends list, as high legend players do often add each other and, stay friends. So that's not terribly surprising. So a matchup like this is actually quite favorable because the Warlock, you have quite a bit of time to assemble your pieces to try to win. You know exactly how long it's going to take them to really get off a combo. And you're quite a bit faster, actually. And Alec got extremely lucky here, actually hitting a Mr. Smite to the front and a Faceless Manip. So he's actually going to be able to go off so extremely fast this game if need be. But yeah, you just want to get your discounts and draw to your combo pieces against other control players and combo players. You don't really have to worry about staying alive. That's just going to naturally occur with your shield blocks and your heavy plates and such. So use your health total aggressively. Really just fish for those cards and search for them. And that's another combo piece to the top of his list. And he's going to actually just be able to go off next turn with all those cards for, I believe, 24 damage with what's in hand, which is kind of insane for turn 7. This was a massive high roll, but the concept is the same. The Warlock really has to try to end the game before it gets to that point, and that's nearly impossible.
Magic? Yeah, I've heard of it.
And assuming Alec did actually play this turn out correctly, which I'm sure he sees it, this is just lethal on turn 7 with the weapon attack, which is absolutely absurd. But that is the power of this list.
Strike, then strike hard.
I think a lot of people believe that this list has to OTK at something like a turn 10 or so, but you can get out a lot of damage much faster if you draw any of the key pieces. And that is actually more damage. I definitely missed the Nelly dying, but either way. So yeah, guys, that is what makes this list so powerful. Its ability to adapt to the different matchups. And we think going forward, it's going to be a mainstay in the meta as long as Demon Hunter is likely the strongest. With Druid getting nerfed, which was one of this deck's worst matchups, you're really able to win a lot of matchups that previously you wouldn't actually have gotten. So that's very cool.